Zambians are being urged to brace themselves for a potential political shift, as given Lubinda, acting president of the Patriotic Front, PF, emerges as a central figure in the party's leadership dynamics. In a recent televised interview, Lubinda called on PF members to suspend their political ambitions until the burial of former President Edgar Lungu, describing any leadership discussions at this time as totally immoral. His appeal for restraint, however, was accompanied by subtle indications of his own aspirations, revealing a complex interplay between mourning, succession, and strategic positioning within Zambia's main opposition party. Lubinda's remarks, delivered on KBN TV, underscored the emotional weight of Lungu's passing and the symbolic importance of honoring the former president before engaging in political maneuvering. "My boss is still above earth, his remains are still in the morgue, and for me to start talking about my ambitions will be totally immoral," Lubinda stated, positioning himself as a respectful steward of PF's legacy. Yet in the same breath he revisited the 2022 PF convention, explaining why he had refrained from declaring his interest in the presidency at the time. "I feared people would have said, he's vice president and now he wants to vie for this position," he said, adding that circumstances have since changed. This duality, calling for silence while signaling readiness, has sparked debate within Zambia's political circles. Critics argue that Lubinda's appeal for restraint is a calculated move to consolidate power and emerge as the uncontested leader once the mourning period concludes. Infrastructure Minister Charles Malupi, for instance, questioned the sincerity of Lubinda's stance, suggesting that the PF's internal confusion may persist well into the next election cycle. According to Malupi, Lubinda's strategy is designed to take center stage and enhance his chances of being accepted as the leader, a view echoed by other observers who see the PF's leadership vacuum as fertile ground for Lubinda's ascent. Within the PF itself, voices like Kavumbu Hakachima, Deputy National Chairperson for Women's Affairs, have praised Lubinda's role in maintaining party cohesion since 2021. Despite facing internal dissent and external pressure, Lubinda has reportedly kept the PF intact, positioning himself as a stabilizing force amid political turbulence. Hakashima's endorsement adds weight to the narrative that Lubinda is not merely a placeholder but a viable contender for the presidency, capable of rallying the party and challenging the ruling United Party for National Development, UPND, in future elections. The PF's current predicament is emblematic of broader challenges facing opposition movements in Zambia. With the party awaiting court clearance to hold its next convention, leadership remains in limbo. Lubinda's insistence that the Tunce Alliance's leadership must come from within the PF reflects a desire to reclaim political relevance and assert the party's autonomy. However, the delay in formalizing leadership structures has left the PF vulnerable to fragmentation and public skepticism. As Lubinda navigates this delicate terrain, his ability to balance respect for Lungu's legacy with strategic ambition will likely determine his political trajectory. From a journalistic perspective, Lubinda's positioning offers a compelling case study in transitional leadership and political branding. His rhetoric blends moral appeal with tactical foresight, crafting a narrative that resonates with PF loyalists while signaling readiness to lead. The emphasis on dignity, legacy, and internal unity serves not only to honor Lungu, but also to frame Lubinda as a principled successor. Yet, the contradictions in his messaging, calling for silence while hinting at ambition, invite scrutiny and demand a deeper analysis of his motives. SEO-wise, the unfolding story of Given Lubinda and the PF's leadership transition is rich with keywords and thematic relevance. Terms like Zambia presidential succession, PF leadership crisis, Given Lubinda ambitions, and Edgar Lungu legacy capture the essence of the narrative and align with trending political discourse in the region. For digital journalists and media strategists, this moment presents an opportunity to explore the intersections of grief, power, and political recalibration in Zambia's evolving democratic landscape. Moreover, the PF's internal dynamics reflect a broader pattern in African opposition politics, where leadership vacuums often trigger strategic repositioning and ideological realignment. Lubinda's case illustrates how symbolic gestures, such as delaying ambition out of respect, can serve as powerful tools for political legitimacy. His appeal to morality, while potentially sincere, also functions as a rhetorical shield against accusations of opportunism, allowing him to navigate the party's emotional terrain while preparing for a leadership bid. In conclusion, The possibility of Given Lubinda becoming Zambia's next president is no longer a distant speculation, but a scenario grounded in political reality. His actions, statements, and strategic timing suggest a calculated effort to emerge as the PF's standard-bearer, leveraging both legacy and leadership to shape the party's future. As Zambia watches this transition unfold, the question is not merely whether Lubinda will lead, but how he will reconcile the demands of mourning with the imperatives of ambition. For journalists, analysts, and citizens alike, this moment offers a lens into the complexities of political succession, the power of narrative, and the enduring influence of legacy in shaping national leadership.
First Quantum Minerals has officially abandoned its earlier plans to sell minority stakes in its copper mining operations in Zambia, marking a significant strategic pivot for one of the country's largest foreign investors in the extractive sector. The decision comes in the wake of a landmark $1 billion streaming deal with Royal Gold Inc., which will provide First Quantum with upfront financing in exchange for a portion of the gold byproduct from its Kansanshi mine. This move not only strengthens the company's financial position, but also signals renewed confidence in its long-term commitment to Zambia's mining industry, particularly at a time when global copper demand continues to surge amid the energy transition. In a recent interview, First Quantum CEO Tristan Pascal confirmed that the company is no longer pursuing any asset sales in Zambia, stating unequivocally, "We're not in any transaction in Zambia, and we're not looking to sell minority stakes there." This statement effectively closes the chapter on months of speculation surrounding potential divestments, which had raised concerns among stakeholders about the future of Zambia's copper production and the stability of foreign investment in the country. The company's decision to retain full control over its Zambian assets reflects a broader strategic recalibration, driven by improved liquidity, reduced debt, and favorable market conditions. The $1 billion deal with Royal Gold is particularly noteworthy for its structure and implications. Rather than selling equity or operational control, First Quantum opted for a streaming agreement, a financial arrangement that allows the company to monetize future gold output without diluting ownership or compromising operational autonomy. This approach has enabled First Quantum to significantly reduce its debt burden, which now stands at approximately $4.5 billion, while preserving its strategic foothold in Zambia. The deal also underscores the growing importance of gold as a secondary revenue stream in copper-dominant operations, offering diversification and financial flexibility. From a policy and investment perspective, First Quantum's renewed commitment to Zambia sends a strong signal to both domestic and international stakeholders. It reinforces Zambia's position as a stable and attractive destination for mining investment, particularly as the government continues to implement reforms aimed at enhancing transparency, fiscal stability, and investor confidence. The decision also aligns with Zambia's broader economic goals, including increased copper production, job creation, and infrastructure development. By retaining its stakes in Kansanshi and Sentinel, First Quantum is effectively doubling down on its role as a long-term partner in Zambia's development trajectory. Analytically, this strategic shift reflects a nuanced understanding of market dynamics and geopolitical risk. With copper prices remaining volatile and global competition for critical minerals intensifying, First Quantum's choice to secure financing through a gold stream rather than asset sales demonstrates financial prudence and operational foresight. It also highlights the evolving nature of mining finance, where companies are increasingly leveraging hybrid instruments to balance liquidity needs with strategic control. For Zambia, the implications are equally significant. The retention of foreign expertise and capital in the mining sector ensures continuity, stability, and potential growth in one of the country's most vital economic pillars. In conclusion, First Quantum's decision to halt the sale of its Zambian copper assets marks a turning point in the company's regional strategy and offers a reassuring message to the Zambian government, local communities, and global investors. It reflects a mature and forward-looking approach to resource management, one that prioritizes long-term value creation over short-term gains. As Zambia continues to position itself as a key player in the global copper market, partnerships like this will be instrumental in shaping the country's economic future and reinforcing its reputation as a reliable mining jurisdiction.